What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Omar back with another college football coaching carousel video, if you will. And it has just been announced literally a minute ago on my Bleacher Report notifications. Something that a lot of people saw coming, including myself. Willie Taggart, the head coach at the University of Oregon, is now headed to Florida State to replace Jimbo Fisher. The last time we spoke here on YouTube, I was making a video about Jimbo Fisher's massive 10-year, $75 million contract at Texas A&M, and now FSU has found his replacement with Willie Taggart. So let's just get into a little bit of logistics here. Now, when we spoke about Jimbo Fisher, we spoke about the fact that it had been revealed on Twitter that he had thrown his Christmas tree out earlier that morning when he decided to sign with Texas A&M. And people started to speculate, like, why would he throw his Christmas tree out? It's not even close to Christmas yet. Could it be that he's moving? And it seemed kind of ridiculous until, bam, it was true. Well, last night, the assistant athletic director and head of recruiting for Oregon's football team went and followed a few people on Twitter. Not one, not two, not three or four, not even five, but 6 Florida State players, is who the AD decided to follow. And people started thinking, is his mind in Florida State? Sure enough, Willie Taggart is indeed headed back to the state of Florida, and he will be head coach of the Florida State Seminoles. Now, just on both teams' end, Willie Taggart, I think, is a great coach. He's not as vocal as some other coaches, so when you hear him in the press conference, when he's being introduced, or when you hear him talk about his team and what his plan is going forward with the Seminoles, you might not be thoroughly impressed, but that's just part of the facade. I think that, he's a quieter guy, but when he's coaching, he's not quiet. He's obviously a pretty solid recruiter. He's proven that, and he's a great coach. So for Florida State, big win for them. Of course, losing Jimbo Fisher wasn't easy, but a good hire in Willie Taggart, a guy who's coached in the state before. As for Oregon, this is a bummer. Not only do they lose Willie Taggart after just 1 year, and a year that wasn't up to Oregon football standards, but it was clear the program was headed in the right direction. Now they lose Willie Taggart. And I learned today on the Solid Verbal podcast. If you don't listen to them, you go listen to them. Go listen to that podcast I think it's twice a week. They were talking about how one of Oregon's biggest planned recruiting weeks was actually a couple weeks from now. So that's off the table. And I'm sure they're going to lose some commits. Maybe they'll lose some commits to the University of Washington. Who knows? Maybe this will pay off for my team. But like I said, a big step back for Oregon, a big step forward for Florida State. I don't know if Willie Taggart matches what Jimbo Fisher brings to the table, but in a time of panic for Florida State, they handled it well, got an A-plus candidate, in my opinion, a very solid hire, and we'll see what Oregon does now. Can they find somebody? This is the beauty of the coaching carousel. Back and forth we go. Who will Oregon look at for their next head coach? Of course, a lot of money in that program from Nike and Phil Knight, and just the success that they've had in the past decade or so. They're going to find a name that's going to try to do what they've always done. Play fast, recruit well, and get into California and recruit against guys like Chip Kelly and Chris Peterson in the Pac-12 conference. So, once again, Willie Taggart heading to Florida State, heading back to the state of Florida after just 1 year at Oregon, and presumably bringing a lot of his staff with him. We'll see how it plays out for Taggart, the Seminoles, and of course the Oregon Ducks. See you guys later.